I recall that SARS 21 requires the accountant to get a signed engagement letter. Now tell me, Mike, does having a signed engagement letter mean that the accountant has been hired to prepare financial statements?
First of all, with respect to the signed engagement letter, you're right in that SARS 21 requires that there be an engagement letter that's signed by both the accounting firm, / accountant, and the client, management or those charged with governance. Prior to SARS 21, we did not have that explicit requirement that the engagement letter had to be signed. However, the ARSC always felt that, well, it's implicit. Who would get an engagement letter that's not signed? It's not really worth the paper it's written on unless it's signed. So as part of SARS 21, we were trying to clarify the standards, make them easier to use and to understand, and then to apply and then enhance the quality of these services. But we said, if that's what we mean, let's say it. Let's not leave any room for interpretation. Let's just put that right in there. So the ARSC in writing SARS 21 made that explicit. The engagement letter has to be signed. Now, having said that, a question I've got, and this one actually surprised me, is, it's not really a question, but someone has said to me at a conference I was speaking at that said, hey, look, you know what? The way to avoid being in Section 70. Now, I don't know why anyone would want to avoid being in the standard, because it protects the user, it protects us and everything else. The argument would be, well, I want to limit the number of engagements I have that are subject to peer review, but we won't get into that. But someone said the way to avoid Section 70 is just not get an engagement letter. And my jaw almost hit the floor. And I said, well, how does that keep you out? Well, it's engagement driven. If you don't get an engagement letter, you've never been engaged. And I said, no, you're missing the point. Engaged and engagement letter are two completely different things. Engaged is what you are hired to do. So for argument's sake, if a client comes to you and says, I am hiring you to do an audit, okay, fair enough. We go through, we do the audit, but we never get the engagement letter. Does that mean that we weren't hired to do the audit? Well, no, it doesn't. It means that we failed to do a required procedure, and that is to document our understanding with the client regarding the engagement to be performed via an engagement letter. The preparation service is the exact same thing. If the client comes to us and says, hey, look, I need you, or I'm hiring you to prepare financial statements, well, then we're in, okay? The engagement letter then becomes step one. It's not like missing step one where we have to perform the service. It means we've performed a substandard or a deficient service because we missed out on a required procedure, but we're still in. So that's the deal with the engagement letter and being engaged, Mike.